Okay, so I'm going to do my air systems check. I'm going to begin with my pressure below 90 psi so that I can demonstrate that my air governor will cut in below 90 and build to an adequate level. So I am in fact below 90 psi right now, so I can begin. I'm going to do a safety start. My parking brake is set. I'm in neutral. Ignition on and start. All right, I can see that my needle is climbing and it is building pressure. And I'm watching for that to cut out. My air governor will cut out between 120 and 140 psi. And I've got the idle turned up so that that'll speed up the process. I'm just listening for the governor to cut out. I'll either hear a whoosh sound or the needle will stop climbing, and that will indicate that it's cut out and built up to pressure. Okay, I heard my governor cut out at 125 psi. All right, next we're going to do a applied pressure brake test, so I'm going to set that up. We have an automatic transmission, so I'm going to make sure that my wheels are chocked. And what I'm going to do at this time is I'm going to release my brakes. My bus is in neutral. I'm going to shut the engine off. And the key is on. I want to make sure that my indicators on my dash come on. So again, my brakes are released and my key is on. All right, my applied pressure test, I'm gonna do that by holding my brake pedal firmly, and I wanna make sure that I do not lose more than 3 psi in 1 minute. All right, my air pressure is stabilized at 100 psi, and I'm gonna begin that test now. I have a timer next to me, and I'm gonna make sure that I don't lose more than 3 psi in 1 minute. Okay, it's been 1 minute and I have lost 0 psi. I'm still at 100 psi. Okay, the next test we're gonna do is check our low air pressure warning light. It's either gonna be a light or an audible sound if equipped. And I'm going to do that by fanning my brake pedal until my low air warning light comes on right here at 55 psi or above. My low air warning light came on at 65 psi. All right, next test, I'm going to do my tractor protection valve or my parking brake, and I'm going to continue fanning my brakes, and that should pop out between 20 and 40 psi. All right, my valve popped out at 35 psi. So that concludes my air systems check. I'm going to do a safety start, and while my pressure is building, I'm going to do an in-cab inspection. Make sure my brake's set. I'm in neutral. Got to cycle my key off and back on. And now I can do my safety start. All right, I'm going to start my in-cab inspection with my seatbelt securely fastened on both ends. It's not cut, ripped, torn, or frayed. it latches properly and it's adjusted for me. Now I'm going to do my glass for my side windows, my mirrors, and my windshield. I want to make sure that my glass is all secure, not cracked or damaged. There's no illegal stickers to impair my vision, and my glass is all clean and clear. Now I want to make sure that my side window opens smoothly, and I'll check my mirrors and make sure that my mirror brackets are all secure and there's no loose or missing brackets or nuts and bolts, and my mirrors are adjusted properly for me. Now I want to inspect my wiper arms and blades. I'm going to demonstrate that they work smoothly, and I would use washer fluid if equipped. And I want to inspect my arms, my wiper arms, to make sure they're secure, they're not damaged or loose or missing. And I want to make sure that my wiper blades are also secure, not damaged or missing. From there, I'm going to do my heater defroster. So I'm going to go to the hot position, the defrost position, and check that my fan works properly. My heater defroster works properly. Now I'm going to check that my horn works properly. Beep beep. I'm going to check all of my gauges. I have a water temperature gauge and an oil pressure gauge and a volt gauge. Now this bus is not equipped with any manual gauges, so I just need to make sure that they are all working at an adequate level or range, and they're working properly by having no warning lights on the dash. And that covers all three of my gauges. Again, that's water temperature, oil pressure, and volts. No warning light on the dash. I'm going to check all of my dash indicators. So I will turn my lights on and check my high and low beam indicator. Works properly. My left turn signal, my right turn signal indicator, my four-way flashers. All my indicators are working properly. Let's see here. Now I am going to test my safety equipment. I want to make sure that I have a properly rated and charged fire extinguisher in the compartment behind me, and that it's secure and not damaged or missing. I want to make sure that I have 3 reflective triangles as well, and they're secure, not damaged or missing. And I also have spare fuses, all of which again are in the compartment behind me. Let's see, I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. I got my seat belt, side windows, mirrors, windshield, wiper arms and blades, demonstrate, horn, my side window, my mirror brackets, my 3 gauges, my indicators on my dash, my heater and defroster, my safety equipment. Okay, that concludes my air systems and in-cab inspection. I'm gonna test my 2 brake systems now. Make sure my parking brake works and my service brakes work. So since my parking brake is still set, I'm gonna go ahead and put the bus in drive and pull gently against it to make sure that my parking brake holds. Give it a little tug. All right, parking brake holds properly. So I'm gonna release my brake, and I'm gonna pull forward with both hands on the wheel, and I'm just gonna pull forward a couple of feet to make sure that my brakes work properly and that it doesn't pull from left or right, which would indicate brakes out of adjustment. So I'm gonna do that now. All right, my brake works properly and it did not pull left or right. Right, I'm going to shut the bus down. That concludes my in-cab inspection. Now I'm going to move to my interior passenger area. I'm going to start back here, and I want to make sure that all of my passenger seating is working properly. So I'm going to check my seat frames down here to make sure that they're all secured to the floor of the bus as well as the sides if needed. And I want to make sure that they're not damaged or loose or missing any parts. I want to make sure that the seat cushions are secure, not torn or damaged. They're not loose. Okay, so I'm going to talk about emergency exits. We have one emergency exit in the roof in the back. I want to make sure that it's securely latched and it works properly. And we have emergency exits down both sides of the bus. All of our windows down the sides are all emergency exits. So I'll demonstrate with this one. I want to make sure that it opens and it latches properly, it works properly, and it's secure. And I will inspect all of my emergency exits that same way. I'm going to inspect all of the entryway or the aisleway for passengers, make sure that there's no slipping hazards and that the treads are all secure and not damaged or missing. And we do have a rear entry and exit door for passengers, as well as the mirror and light. And I'm going to inspect all of that at the front of the bus, but I'll inspect both the same. All right, first I want to inspect all of our handrails where passengers can hold everywhere on the bus to make sure that the handrails are all secure, not damaged or loose. And now as we come out to our entry and exit, we do have a wheelchair ramp on this bus. And this is also a kneeling bus. So I can hit my switch on the dashboard there and it'll release air out of the system and kneel the bus down lower to the ground for wheelchair use. And I can also make sure that my wheelchair ramp works properly. Right here is the hydraulic system, and I want to make sure that it's not leaking and works properly. And the door latches properly. From there, since I don't need to actually demonstrate the wheelchair ramp, I want to make sure that all of my entry and exit door and lighting and mirrors are properly working. So I'll start with my mirrors. I've got mirrors that I want to make sure are secure and not damaged or missing, and they're properly adjusted for my view in the driver's seat. And I also have a entry and exit light right here. It's secure, not damaged or missing, and it is clean and clear in color. Again, I'm going to check my entry and exit aisles to make sure that the tread is secure, not damaged, and intact, no slipping hazards. From there, my doors, I want to make sure that they open and latch securely. These are air-powered doors, and I have a switch over there that I can manually unlock and lock. So I'll make sure that they work properly. Again, my handles at the doors, I want to make sure that they're secure, not damaged or missing or loose. And my hinges in my doors, it's all secure, not damaged, and works properly. And my rubber seals in my doors are all secure, not damaged or missing. They're all intact and they seal properly. And we're going to go ahead and move to the outside of the bus now and do the exterior inspection.